Hi, hi, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live. As you know, as you all know, today is all about understanding scripture, understanding the scripture. So, yesterday we had a live video. Today again, we are going to continue from where we stopped. And God helping us, we are going to read a lot of chapters today by the grace of God. Um, I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes, I can. So, welcome. Bring your Bible, let's read. So, yesterday we read from chapter 13 to chapter 18. Today we are going to start reading from chapter 19. Okay? So, let's start. The two angels arrived at Sidon in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down to him with his face on the ground. My lord, he said, please turn aside to your servant and then go on your way early in the morning. No, they answered, we will spend the night in the square. But he insisted so strongly that they did not go that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city, Sodom, both the young and the old, they called on Lot, where are the men that came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them. Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, no, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them. But do not do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof. Get out of our way, they replied. And they said, this fellow has come as an alien, and now he wants to play the judge. We will treat you worse than them. They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved further to break down the door. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back at the door of the house. The two men said to Lot, do you have anyone else, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry to the Lord against these people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and spoke to his brothers-in-law, who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, hurry and get up, hurry and get out of this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city. But his son-in-laws thought he was joking. With the coming of the dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, and you will or you will be swept away when the city is punished." When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hand of his wife and the 2 daughters and led them safely out of the city. So the Lord was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, "Flee for your lives. Don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains, or you will be swept away." But Lot said to them, "No, my lord, please. Your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have spared my life. But I can't flee to the mountain. The disaster will overtake me and my family. Look, there is a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it?" Then my life will be spared, he said to him. "Very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow you. I will not overthrow the city you speak of, but flee there quickly, because cannot do anything until you reach it." By the time Lot reached Zorah, the sun has risen over the land. Then the Lord raised down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain in the land. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had left his wife. where he stood before the Lord, he looked down towards Sodom and Gomorrah, towards all the land of the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land, like smoke from the furnace. So when the Lord destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the city where Lot had lived. So you can see something in this verse that we read. It is the ability to be able to discern. Discernment has power. Abraham was able to discern that the people coming, they were passing, no, they were not coming to his house, were actually angels, or in fact, God. And he recognized it, and he brought them clothes and gave them food. Again, Lot was able to also identify the people coming into the city. Like these people are not normal people. I know they are the Lord. And he brought them into his house. That is discernment. Ability to discern, to know the difference between time and season. What other people may see as normal, as casual, you are able to detect quickly sign from God. A lot of us should pray for the spirit of discernment so that we don't be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Most of the time, when you are planning to go out, all of a sudden there's something in your spirit that just goes cold. Most people used to wave it off. Others will listen to their spirit and say, "What is this?" They will start praying. And eventually, maybe if you get to the road, something might happen. Not directly, that is the spirit of discernment. Lot has it, Abraham had it. They were able to see these people passing are not ordinary. And at the end, their life were spared. Like Lot's life and the life of his daughters were spared. So, verse 30. Lot and his two daughters left Zorah, and settled in the mountains, for he was afraid to stay in Zorah. He and his two daughters lived in a cave. Our father is old, and there is no man around here to lie with us. As this is the custom all over the earth, let's get our father to drink wine, and then lie with him and preserve our family line through our father. That night, they got their father drunk with wine, and the older daughter went in and laid with him. He was not aware of it. When she laid down and when she got up, the next day, the elder daughter said to the younger, "Last night I laid with my father. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight, and you will go in and lie with him so we can preserve our family line through our father." So they got their father to drink wine that night also. And the younger daughter laid with him. Again, he was not aware of it when she laid down and when she got up. So both of Lot's daughter became pregnant by their father. The older daughter had a son, and he named him Moab. And he is the father of the Moabites of today. And the younger daughter had a son, and he named him Ben Amin, and is the father of the Amorites of today. Hmm. So because of desperation, they were now desperate, having lost everything they had. Lot, you remember, they said that evil communication corrupts good manners. Show me your friend, and I'll tell you who you are. Why am I saying this? Lot was a good man, but he got himself into a circle of and the environment where evil people dwelled. Yes, I know you are very good. You are a Christian. You are holy. But what company do you keep? Who are the people that you find yourself around? Bible says do not be unequally yoked or equally yoked with unbelievers. What does it mean? Don't find yourself in an environment where you are the only person that seems to be the odd one out. See Lot now. Immediately he left Abraham's side. His life started dwindling from being a very wealthy man. At first, he was captured as a result of war, and everything he had was taken away from him. It was the same Abraham that went to save him and brought all his properties back. Now, instead of taking the signs to leave that place, that these people are bad people, I'm not supposed to be associated with this kind of persons. He stayed in that city, and at the end it still cost him his wife and their possessions. And even because that lifestyle has somehow entered into his daughters, they had the audacity. They did not even see it as something bad to go and sleep with their father, because they to keep the family line going. Decisions of the government affects all of us. If you don't like the state of the country, you can find yourself a way out. Maybe you find you Yeshua. My beloved is the most beautiful among thousands and thousands. My beloved is the most beautiful among thousands and thousands. Yeshua. Ah, 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 ah. Yeshua. Ah, 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 ah. I was having network issue, and I don't know, went off. Now we are back again. So while it went off, were reading Genesis 21 that talked about how Haggai and Ishmael was away because was mocking Isaac, and Sarah did not want him to share son's inheritance. And while they were driven away, the Lord came, saved them, and lived in the wilderness. So, verse 22. At the time, Abimelech and Pekah, the commander of his forces, said, "He is with you in everything you do. Now swear to me that you will not deal with your descendants. Go to me and the country where you are living as an alien, the same kind I have shown." Abraham said, "I swear it." Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech's servants had seen. But Abimelech, "I don't know who has done this. I heard about it only today." And gave them to Abimelech, and the two men made a treaty. Abraham set apart 7 lambs from the flock, and Abimelech asked Abraham, "What is the meaning of these 7 lambs you have set apart by themselves?" He replied, "7 lambs from my hand as a witness that I worked well." So that place was called Beersheba, and there. After the treaty had been made in Beersheba, Abimelech and Pekah, the commander of his, returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, where he called upon the name of the Lord, the eternal God. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistines for a long time. So, chapter 22, For some time later, he said to him, Abraham, here am I, he replied. Then God said, take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and saddled his donkey, took with him two of the servants, two of his servants and his son Isaac. He got when he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out to the place God has told him about. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in a distance. He said to his servants, "Stay here with the donkey, while I and the boy go over there. We will worship and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on Isaac's head. And he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father Abraham, "Yes, my son," Abraham replied. "The fire and the wood as the lamb for the burnt offering." Abraham answered, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." And the two of them went on. When they reached the place, God said, when they reached the place God had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took a knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham." "Here am I," he replied. "Do lay a hand on the boy," he said. "Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your servant, your only son." Abraham looked up and there Abraham looked up and there was a thicket there in the thickets. He saw a ram caught by the horn. He went over, took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of. So Abraham called this, "Lord will provide." And to this day he said, on the mountain of the Lord in the mountain of the Lord in the mountain of the Lord it will be provided. The angel of God called to Abraham from heaven a second time. "I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you, make your descendants a great numerous as the stars of the sky and as the sand of the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offsprings all nations on earth will be blessed." because you have obeyed me. Then Abraham returned to his servants, and they set off together to Beersheba. And Abraham stayed in Beersheba. Some time later, what told Micah is also that she had born. Sometime later, Abraham told Milcah is also a mother. She had born sons to her brother Nebo, Uzi the firstborn, Boaz his brother, Kemal the Aram, Cashel, Hazo, Pidas, Jedel, and Beluam became the father of Rebecca. Rebecca. Michael 8 sons. Abraham Nebo. His concubines, whose names were Ruaman, also had sons, Tabal, Dahan, Tash, and Mek. So that is for chapter 22. So Abraham, one thing we learned from this chapter, one's ability to discern the voice of the Lord. A lot of people say they are hearing from God until God tells you something is very difficult to do. And then you say, this cannot be God that is talking to me. How can the God that asked you, that kept assuring me that I'm going to have a child and my offspring and the generations are coming from him, all of a sudden he will tell me to sacrifice the boy? I knew the voice of the Lord. He had a good relationship with God. He knew when when something is God, truly God, and not some flagging to be God. And he was given an instruction. The hardest thing you can do. Imagine looking for a job years and if, getting the job. A voice tells you to quit this job the next day. You will say, surely this is not from God. But one thing about this verse that we should know is how to identify the voice of the Lord. He was able to know that, yet this is God that is talking to me. And that was why he was in. He took his son. He did not care. Why? Because he loved God. He knew that God had the ability, since he could give him Isaac at such an old age, he can still give him another child. And God provided. But the Lord will always provide. Let this word be a word for somebody. Whoever you are out there, I want to tell you that the Lord will always provide. So you will trust in him. Put your trust in the Lord, for he will always provide. Why are you still struggling? Is because you are there trying to make it happen by yourself. But I'll cast your burden onto the Lord, for he cares. If you put it in God's hands, that does not mean you go and lie down and do nothing. No. You keep doing your best, but you do your best knowing that God will always provide. So we are going to read chapter 33, and then we stop for the day. Next week continue. 23. Sarah lived for 127 years. She died at Kerat Arab, which is in Baron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham went to mourn for Sarah and to weep over her. Then Abraham rose from beside his dead wife and spoke Hittites. He said, I am an alien and a stranger among you. Sell me property for a burial site here, so that I can bury my dead. The Hittites replied to Abraham, Sir, listen to us. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of your tombs. None of us will refuse his tomb for burying your dead. But Abraham rose and bowed down before the people of the land. Then he said to the Hittites, he said to them, if you are willing to let me bury my dead, then listen to me and intercede with Ephron, son of Zippor, on my behalf, so that he will sell me the cave of Macapella, Macapella, which belongs to him and is at the end of his field. Ask him to sell it to me for the full price as a burial site among you. Ephron, the Hittite, was sitting among these people and replied to Abraham, the hearing of all the Hittites, who has come to the gate of his city. No, my lord, he said, listen to me.